Welcome to HelloCustom. In this video, I'm going to do a complete walkthrough of HelloCustom. That way, by the end of this video, you know exactly how to use HelloCustom to automate the personalization for your Etsy orders. I will also include timestamps below this video. That way, if you want to refer back to the video or if you have any questions in the future, you can refer back to the timestamps below. So before we jump into how to use HelloCustom, I do want to quickly show you around the tool. So jumping over to the left navigation here, first, we have the approval queue. I will go into more detail later in this video, but when HelloCustom personalizes a graphic, it will display it for your approval here. Next, we have our templates tab. This is where you're going to create a template for each personalized graphic. This is where you're going to tell HelloCustom what graphic belongs to what product and what inside of the graphic needs to be personalized. Next, we have our archive tab. When HelloCustom personalizes a graphic, we store it in our archive for the next 30 days. That way, if you need to access it, edit it, or do anything with that graphic for the next 30 days, you can find that here. Moving down to the bottom sub navigation here, if you click onto the up caret, we have 4 more tabs. We have the My Account, the Fonts, Collections, and the Sign Out. From the My Account, this is where you are able to access your contact details, your payment methods, your wallet, your transaction history, as well as update your subscription. The Fonts tab, this is where you are able to see all of the fonts that you have inside of your HelloCustom account, both fonts that are included, as well as the fonts that you added specifically to your HelloCustom account. Lastly is the Connections tab. This is where you are able to connect your HelloCustom account to your marketplaces as well as your production partners. When you first sign into HelloCustom, this is actually the page that we drop you on, as this is the first step that we need to do is connect our HelloCustom account to our Etsy account as well as our HelloCustom account to our production partner. So to do that, we'll go to the Collections tab. Underneath marketplaces, we currently integrate with Etsy, with Amazon, as well as Shopify. To integrate with Etsy, go to the Etsy and click on to connect. It will then direct you over to your Etsy account where you can grant permission for the HelloCustom app. Make sure that you are signed into the correct Etsy account, as this is the Etsy account that will be connected to your HelloCustom account. Scroll down and click on to grant access. All right, perfect. Your HelloCustom account is now connected to your Etsy account, as you can see right here, and it will also now display underneath your stores on the left-hand tab right here. If you click onto your store, this is where you can toggle between your different stores. If you have multiple Etsy accounts or an Etsy account and an Amazon account, or maybe an Etsy account and a Shopify account, you are able to toggle between the different marketplace connections here. Now that we've connected our Etsy account, we will now go and connect a production partner by scrolling down. In this case, I am going to connect our Printify account by going down to Printify and clicking on to connect. Similarly to Etsy, it's going to go over to Printify to grant permission for the app, scroll down and click on to allow. And just like that, your HelloCustom account is now connected to your Printify account. We can now go through the workflow of creating a personalized product that HelloCustom will automate the personalization for. The way that we designed HelloCustom is to be the exact same workflow for a personalized product as it is to create a non-personalized product. So if you've ever created a product with Printify before, the workflow is you go over to Printify, you create the product, you then publish it over to Etsy, you optimize the Etsy listing, and when that sells, it goes over to Printify for fulfillment. That is the exact same workflow with HelloCustom, except for at the very end, we will create a template inside of HelloCustom to automate the personalization before it goes over to Printify. So same thing, we're gonna go over to Printify, we're gonna create the product just like you normally would, we're gonna publish it over to Etsy just like you normally would, and then at the very end, we're gonna create a template inside of HelloCustom. That way when it sells, it will come over to HelloCustom, get personalized, and then when you approve it, it'll go over to Printify for fulfillment. So we're gonna start off by going over to Printify to create a product. All right, so I just signed into my Printify account, and one thing that I did want to point out is that because HelloCustom personalizes the graphic can be applied to any product, whether that graphic is going onto a t-shirt or a mug or a tote bag, that HelloCustom works with any one of Printify's products. So in this example, I will be using a t-shirt, but just know that it will work the exact same if it is a mug, a tote bag, an ornament, you name it, it's gonna work the exact same. So coming over to Printify's catalog, I am gonna search for their 3001 t-shirt. Scroll down, click onto the Bella canvas, scroll down, and in this example, I will be using Monster Digital, but again, it will work with any production partner, any product, you name it, click on to start designing. Where the next step is we upload our graphic. For this tutorial, I made the following design. It is just a nurse with the personalization being Samantha and the year being 2025. I'm going to download this as a transparent background PNG for Printify by clicking on to download, PNG, transparent background, and download. All right, perfect. I'm now going to go back over to Printify and upload this design to our t-shirt. Now that the graphic is uploaded, we can now adjust the size and the position. The way that HelloCustom works is we exact match the size and the position of this template product right here. So if you want to keep it center chest, that's totally fine. If you want to make it top aligned center, that's totally fine. If you want to shrink it down so it's a top right corner pocket, HelloCustom does match the exact coordinates, size, and scale of this template product right here. So you can put this wherever you want in any shape, size, and or rotation, and HelloCustom will exact match that when we create a copy of this product with the correct personalized graphic when this product sells on Etsy. But in this tutorial, I am going to keep the rotation at 0 and keep it small, move it to the top right corner pocket, as this will be a top right corner pocket design where the graphic for this product would then be good to go. But I do want to share two more things for the sake of the tutorial. One being is Printify's crop function, and the other one is how to do multi-graphic products with HelloCustom. So Printify does have a crop function where you are able to click onto the crop and remove any blank space. But I do want to encourage you not to do this because HelloCustom does match the coordinates of this graphic. And this was originally a square graphic, which the template we create in HelloCustom will be a square graphic. So HelloCustom will be trying to pass in a square graphic into a rectangle shape that can cause part of the graphic to be cropped off. So keeping it apples to apples, make sure the graphic is its original shape, square here, square in HelloCustom, ensuring that the placement is perfect every single time. The next one is how to do multi-graphic products. HelloCustom can do multi-graphic products, but it is limited to just one of the graphics being the personalized graphic. So if you do mugs, for example, where you have the same graphic on both sides, where they are separate graphics, yes, that will work with HelloCustom. If this was the canvas for a mug, you are able to copy the graphic, put it onto both sides of the mugs, and HelloCustom will replace both of these graphics with the personalized graphic from the template inside of HelloCustom. Even if you do multi-graphic products where the other graphics are non-personalized, that will also work. So if this was the personalized graphic right here and you had non-personalized graphics on the sleeves or the back, HelloCustom will personalize and replace this graphic right here. Currently, HelloCustom is unable to do multiple different personalized graphics. So for example, you have this personalized graphic right here. If you had a different graphic that also requires personalization anywhere on the front or the back, for example, that is a feature coming soon, but currently HelloCustom is limited to just one personalized graphic per product, whether it's uploaded one time, multiple times, or a combination with other non-personalized graphics. We will now add the variations for this product by clicking on to select variations, where we can select the sizes and the colors of this product that we want to offer. For the sizes, I am going to leave all of the sizes selected, and for the colors, I'm going to select white. We'll do asphalt. I'll do black. Where I'm now going to add a few more light colors just for the sake of the video. But again, this is 100% up to you. The colors and sizes that you want to offer for the product, it's going to work the exact same with HelloCustom. Specifically with products like apparel that have dark and light colors, it is common practice to have a dark colored graphic on a light colored product and a light colored graphic on a dark product. So for example, the personalization here is black. How would that look like on a black t-shirt? You're unable to see that. So what you can do is for the dark colors like the gray, the black, and maybe the red and or the brown, you can add a different specific graphic for that one. So I am going to go back over to Canva. I'm going to make a copy of this design. I'm going to select the two text elements here and make them white color. And download this as a transparent background PNG. All right, perfect. I'm now going to go back over to Printify. And for the black, I'm going to click on to make a specific design for black. Same with the red, same with the gray. And lastly, same with the brown, where for these ones, you can delete the black one, go over to upload, and we will upload our white version here. All right, and just like the original, we are going to make this smaller upper right corner. To make sure that it is the exact same size and coordinates, you are able to click onto the white, for example, click onto the graphic and see that the size is a 6.74 by 6.74. We're going to click onto the gray and make sure that this is a 6.74 right here. perfect. I'm going to do the same for the other 3 colors. So I just got done adding the white version for these colors right here, but it remains the black personalization for the lighter colors here. Once everything looks correct, we can now go to the bottom right and click on to Save Product. Next, it's going to take you to the step right here where you are able to change things like the title, the description, and the price points. But most of the time, people like to publish it over to Etsy and then optimize it once it's on the Etsy platform. So I'm going to go down to the bottom right and click on to Publish. And as you can see, Printify is now publishing this product over to our Etsy account. And when it is fully published, this status will go from updating images to publish. That everything that we've done up to this point in terms of creating the product, publishing it over to Etsy, the next step in terms of optimizing the Etsy listing, that is the exact same workflow for a non-personalized product as it is here with a personalized product. So we really try to make HelloCustom as easy as possible in order to sell personalized products on Etsy. All right, perfect. So once the status goes to published, we can now go over to our Etsy account and you will see that product right here, where we can now click into the product. And this is when we would then optimize this product to better sell on Etsy. I'm not going to go over how to optimize an Etsy listing in this tutorial. I do have videos on this on our YouTube channel, like this one right here, where I go over how to optimize the Etsy listings, as well as this one right here, where I go over how to optimize the SEO of the Etsy listing. But one thing that I do want to show you is how to make the Etsy listing personalizable. So if you scroll down right below the description section, there is a section called Personalization where you will click on to add personalization. And this is what will allow the Etsy customers to enter in their personalization request for this product. You can add instructions as well as a character limit and click on to publish changes. All right, so at this point, we've created the product in Printify. We publish it over to Etsy. In theory, we optimize the Etsy listing. Now we just need to create a template inside of HelloCustom. That way HelloCustom can automate the personalization for us for when this product sells. So I'm now gonna go back over to HelloCustom. Then we will click on to Templates and click on to Add Template in the top right corner, where from here, you're able to create your template starting with either a PNG or a PDF. I highly recommend you create your template starting with a PDF, as HelloCustom has a PDF to editable template feature that we didn't want to replace your design tools. That if you love to use Canva to create your print-on-demand designs, we want you to still be able to use Canva. Just download the complete design as a PDF, upload that into HelloCustom, and then we will convert that back into an editable template as if you created it in HelloCustom to begin with. So from here, I'm going to go back over to Canva and I'm going to download this design as a PDF by clicking on to Share, Download. The file type is going to be a PDF print. We're just going to do the page 1 and then I'm going to leave it as RGB and click on to Download. Perfect. I'm now going to go back over to HelloCustom and upload that PDF here. And what HelloCustom is doing now, it is taking my PDF and it is converting it back into the editable template, which takes about 5 seconds to do. All right, perfect. As you can see, HelloCustom took our PDF and it was able to convert it back into an editable template as if we created this design in HelloCustom to begin with. To create a template inside of HelloCustom, we just have to do a couple steps. The first one is to give the template a title. This is for internal purposes only. So for example, I might title this as Nurse Shirt. The next thing that we need to do is tell HelloCustom what product on Etsy this graphic belongs to. So we'll do that by clicking on to Product Variants, where HelloCustom will then pull in all of your Etsy products sorted by active, inactive, or draft, and you can also search for them here. We will select our product, which is this one right here, where HelloCustom will then display all of the variations that are associated to this product. For this graphic right here, this is the dark colored personalization where we only want this one to be applied to the lighter colored shirts. So what I'm gonna do now is deselect any of the dark colored shirts like Asphalt, for example, that when these sell, I do not want HelloCustom to use this graphic. I will want it to use a different template. All right, perfect. So now HelloCustom knows that when these SKUs sell on Etsy, use this template. When these SKUs sell on Etsy, do not use this template specifically and click on to Update. Where the next thing that we need to do is tell HelloCustom what in the design needs to be personalized. In this example, we do have a name and a date, but any type of text-based personalization will work with our AI. You just have to tell our AI what it is. So if it's name or date, if it's address, if it's phone number, if it's teacher's name, student's name, name 1, name 2, You name it, just tell our AI what it is, and it will be able to find that personalization in the personalization request on the Etsy order. So I'm going to click on to Samantha, where from here, the first thing that I will do is set the max allowance. This is essentially how long the text can be before I want HelloCustom to automatically make the text smaller. That way it doesn't just roll off the side of the graphic if someone's name is super long. That if you click onto these two black dots right here, we can set the max allowance that when the text hits right here, make the font smaller. That way it does not go past these two black dots. And when it is personalized, I do want it to be center aligned. You can do left aligned, you can do right aligned. In this case, it'll be center aligned. You can do effects, for example, if you want it to be all caps, or if you want to add a curve. We do have some text effects on the left. For example, we do have some transparency, letter spacing, line spacing, drop shadow, curve, and highlight. So we are able to replicate those styles and effects on text elements. But for this name, just as is, just center align will be perfect. And if you go to the top left, click on to tags, this is where we're going to tell our AI exactly what this is. So in this case, it is going to be a name. Type in name, click on to enter. Now HelloCustom knows that when someone buys this product, if they enter a name like Sarah, for example, it'll know to put that right here in this color, in this font, in this size, center aligned, in this spot with that max allowance. Next, we do have a date personalization right here. So I'm going to click onto this one. I'm going to set the max allowance. Same thing, I do want it to be center aligned, no other special effects needed. And I'm going to tag this as date. But remember, you can have this be anything. It could be name 1, it could be name 2. If you have multiple names on one design, it could be teacher's name, student's name, it could be profession, it could be team number. You name it, you just tell HelloCustom's AI what you want it to be, and HelloCustom will personalize it accordingly. You can even give the prompts instructions. So for example, if you want the tag to be name, but you want HelloCustom to add a heart between each name, you can do instructions by giving the instructions between two brackets like this. So for example, name, add a heart between each name. HelloCustom will grab all the names, plug in heart icons between each name, and personalize that text element accordingly. Alternatively, you could do date. If you want it to be a specific format, for example, a 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and a 2-digit year, you can do. And if someone types in October 4th, 2024, HelloCustom will take that and apply this format and then add it to your design. You can even do date, convert to Roman numerals, you name it. You just tell our AI what you want it to be, and HelloCustom will personalize it accordingly. But again, for this text element, it's just going to be a simple date that we need for the 2025. And then the last thing that we need to do for this template specifically is make the background transparent. The PNG that we used when creating the Printify product had a transparent background that when we replace that graphic with this graphic, we do not want a white box printing behind the design. So to make this background transparent, I'm going to click onto background and transparent here. If you want the background to be a color or if the background is an image, you do not have to make it transparent. Essentially, whatever you uploaded to the product on Printify, whether it's transparent or not, HelloCustom needs to be able to match that because we are replacing that graphic with this graphic when the order comes in for the personalization. The last thing that I wanted to share in regards to creating a template inside of HelloCustom is how fonts work. So when you tag a text element for personalization, like we have a name here, as well as a date here, when we replace this text with the personalized text, HelloCustom needs to have that font. HelloCustom needs to know what all of the letters look like. So when you tag a text element for personalization, what happens on the back end is we see, does HelloCustom have this font? If not, we are actually integrated with Google Fonts. Google Fonts has over 1,700 free commercial use fonts. So if we don't have it, we immediately go over to Google Fonts. If Google Fonts has it, within a split second, we download it from Google, we upload it to your HelloCustom account, and we apply it to that text element as if you had it to begin with. But if you do not have the font, and if Google Fonts does not have the font, you will receive an error message in the top right that says missing font. From here, you do have a couple different options. So one is you are able to upload custom fonts into HelloCustom, where if it is a font that you specifically want, you are able to obtain that font and upload it into your HelloCustom account, in which it will automatically apply it to this text element by clicking onto the font right here. And then underneath the My Fonts, you are able to click onto the add, apply the font into your HelloCustom account, and have that be applied to that text element. And then the error message would then go away. Next is maybe you're not particular with the font. It doesn't have to be that exact font, but something that looks similar would suffice. So we do have something that we call our font slider. So you are able to roll through all of our fonts and see update live here to see if maybe there's another font that looks close enough. So you're able to roll through all of our fonts, and you say, hey, this one looks close enough. I'm going to move forward with this being a font because this is a font that HelloCustom does have. The error message would then go away. And then lastly, we do have a type a word preview right here where you could type in Samantha, for example. And then we will show you all of our fonts with Samantha being typed out that we can at a very quick glance roll through all of our fonts to see, hey, is there another font that looks close enough that I can use for my template? So those are 3 solutions that you can use for a missing font. One is upload the font, one is changing the font with our font slider, and 3 is typing Samantha to preview that text and again, select another similar font that will work inside of HelloCustom. All right, so once you've given the template a title, you told HelloCustom what product on Etsy that this design belongs to and what inside of the design needs to be personalized, you can now click on to publish as active. Our template is now published as active. Now, whenever that product, those SKUs sell on Etsy, HelloCustom knows to use this template, how to personalize the design, and then display it in your approval in our approval queue. If you remember from earlier in the tutorial, we did have 2 designs for this product. We had one with the dark personalization and one with the light personalization. So the next step would be to create one more template for the light personalization instead of going through and re-uploading the PDF and resetting the max allowances and re-tagging everything. What you can do is click onto the 3 dots here where we have some submenus right here, but you can click on to make a copy where HelloCustom will make a copy of this template where all you'd have to do is maybe change the title from Nurse Shirt Dark to Nurse Shirt Light. If you click onto Samantha, you can see that it already has the max allowance. It's already center aligned here. It's already tagged as name. All I have to do is make the color white. And same thing with the date here. Perfect. If I click onto product variants, I click onto our nurse shirt, where from here, you're now able to see that some of the SKUs are grayed out. So if you ever come to this step right here and you see that some of the SKUs are grayed out, what that means is those SKUs are applied to another template, whether it's active or draft, that you cannot have one SKU be applied to multiple templates. That when that SKU sells on Etsy, if it goes to 2 templates, HelloCustom wouldn't know which graphic to personalize. So we grade them out here where you're unable to select them. If you see a SKU that is grayed out and it's meant for this template right here, what you can do is copy the SKU, go back to the template, search it, and then the template that it is applied to would appear. You could click into it, deselect it, resave it, and then it would free it up for the next template. So being that everything is grayed out other than what we want for this one right here, we can just select everything and click on to update and then publish as active, where we now have our 2 templates, one for the dark version and the light version for our personalized nurse shirt. One thing that I recommend you doing once you get to this step right here is actually testing the template to make sure that everything is working correctly, you tagged everything correctly, the AI is working correctly, that when this sells on Etsy, you are confident that the personalization is gonna work correctly, that with the correct tag, 100% of the personalization should be working correctly when it gets to the approval queue. And if it doesn't, you can come in here and update your instructions with the tags to calibrate it to make sure that it is working correctly. To test a template, again, if you click onto the 3 dots right here, you can click on to test template, where we will give you a prompt just like it is on Etsy, where a customer can enter in their personalization request. For example, Steven 2026, click on to submit, where it will then read the personalization request and create the graphic for you. Steven 2026, the AI, the personalization is working correctly. It even goes one step further. It goes over to Printify and creates a mock-up of the personalized graphic for you. You can even play with it by clicking onto the back button and get a little bit more difficult. Can the name be Terry and the date be October? Click on to submit. And as you can see, it did Terry for the name, October for the date. The personalization is correct. As we speak, it was going over to Printify to create the design. So I can click onto this button right here to make sure that it is the correct product, the correct placement, and the correct personalized graphic there. I am now confident in this template that when it sells on Etsy, everything is going to work smoothly when HelloCustom personalizes the design and displays it for my approval in the approval queue. So I just came over to Etsy and I purchased our product a couple different times. That way I can show you different things that you can do inside of the approval queue. For example, for the color, I selected that I wanted it to be soft cream. For the size, medium, and maybe for the personalization, can the name be Sarah and the date be 2026, quantity 1, and purchase? When this product is sold on Etsy, it will then go over to HelloCustom, where HelloCustom will personalize the graphic and display it for your approval in our approval queue. As you can see, I have 4 orders right now in my queue waiting for approval. You are able to search for orders right here. You can also sort your orders from oldest and newest. That way your HelloCustom orders can align with your Etsy orders. If you scroll down, this is our first order right here, where we call these approval cards. On the approval card, you have the customer's name, the order number. If you click onto the order number, it will open this order into your Etsy account. It shows a thumbnail of the personalized graphic side by side with the Etsy order information. It shows the product, the quantity, the variations, and what the customer actually typed in. In this case, she typed in, can the name be Sarah and the date to be 2026? And she also included a note to seller. Can I get this by the 28th? HelloCustom got this order. It read the personalization request and personalized the following graphic. As you can see, it changed the name to Sarah and the date to 2026. This is the correct personalization with the correct font, the correct color, the correct size, the correct placement. This graphic is good to go. 99% of the time, all you have to do is sign into your approval queue, make sure the personalization is correct, and all you have to do is click onto approve, and then the order will be sent over to your production partner for fulfillment. That's it. As you can see, we still have 3 more orders in our queue where I want to walk you through how to do order management. Sometimes a customer will reach out post-purchase and say, hey, I accidentally gave you the wrong shipping address. Can you change it to this? Or I got the wrong size, or I got the wrong color. How do you change the order inside of HelloCustom before you click approve and send it over to fulfillment? So I do want to show you 2 submenus, this one right here, as well as this one right here. So on this one right here, we have an edit button. If for any reason you need to change the graphic before you click on approve, if you click onto the edit button right here, it will open up the graphic side by side with the personalization request. That way you can read the personalization request and change the graphic. For example, if she wants to change the name from Sarah to, I'm just gonna type in Steven, click on to save. And as you can see, HelloCustom is updating the order right here, where now the graphic says Steven 2026. Going back over to the submenu, we also have a download button. So if you click onto the download, where you are able to download the graphic as a JPEG, a PNG, or a PDF. So if you do your own fulfillment, or if you use a production partner that we do not currently integrate with, you are able to download the graphics and use them accordingly. And also you can click onto the delete button. So if for any reason they say, hey, I want to cancel the order, you want to delete it from the queue and not go over to your production partner, you can click on the delete button right here. So going over to the example where maybe they want to change the shipping address. So if we click onto the dots in the top right corner here, you can click onto the shipping right here, where you are able to enter in the name, the phone number, the shipping address, and click onto save. When this order goes over to your fulfillment partner, we will use this shipping information over the Etsy order shipping information. Next is you are able to click onto the edit button. So this is for the example if they want to change the size or the color. If you click onto edit, it will make the approval card editable. So if they want to buy maybe quantity 2, or if they want to change the color from neutral to a different color variation, or change the size to a different size, you can change the size to small, for example, and you can change the color to white. So now it's quantity 1, white, small, and click on to save. Again, when this goes over to your production partner, we will make sure the quantity is 1, the color is white, the size is small, and it will go over to the updated shipping address. So that is how you do order management inside of the approval queue. Once everything looks correct, go ahead and click on to approve. And again, this will go over to your production partner for fulfillment. All right, so we now have 2 orders left in the queue. As you can see, this one is a little bit different. She ordered quantity 2, and the personalization is, can the names be Sarah and Kelly, and the date to be 2025. So this happens maybe 1 out of every 400 orders, to give an example, but it does happen. So I want to show you exactly what to do, where when somebody enters in 2 names and quantity 2, HelloCustom doesn't know if they want 2 of the exact same shirt that says both names, or two separate shirts that have the names separately. So as you can see, it shows quantity 2 and it put both the names onto the one design. How do I split this into two separate products with the names separately? So if the quantity is greater than 1, in this case it's 2, now if I click onto the three dots right here, there's another option called split. So I'm gonna go ahead and click onto that here. And HelloCustom will break that into equal parts. Now there's two quantity ones where I now actually have to go in and edit the design by clicking onto the three dots here. Click onto edit, and I will change this one to just say Sarah. Click onto save. And then while HelloCustom is updating that graphic, I'm going to scroll down and click onto the three dots here. Click onto edit and change this one to just say Kelly. Click on to save. All right, perfect. Now we have one shirt that is quantity 1, neutral, medium, Sarah. Another one that is quantity 1, neutral, medium, Kelly. Once everything looks correct, I can now approve these graphics. You can approve them one by one, or you can go in the top right corner here and you can approve the entire order in one button. All right, we are now down to one order in the queue. For this one specifically, I wanted to show you what happens if somebody purchases multiple products and what if they purchase a personalized product with a non-personalized product? What does it do with a non-personalized product? So as you can see, they purchased a light colored shirt with a dark personalization, a dark colored shirt with a light personalization, and a non-personalized product. So yes, we do show the non-personalized products on the approval card. That way you know that that is a part of this order. And when it goes over to your production partner, yes, this will be included with that order. You don't have to approve anything because there is no graphic tied to this. And we do put those at the bottom of the approval card. That way they're not really in the way. So for this one right here, you can see a Kendra. This looks correct. For this one right here, this is a white personalization. When you click onto this, you're unable to really see the white text. So we do have a make dark right here where we will put this transparent image onto a dark background. That way you can very easily see Kelly 2026 and that looks correct. So again, you can one by one click on approve or click on approve in the top right. Either way, once everything is approved in the approval card, the entire order in its entirety will go over to your production partner for fulfillment. Lastly, once everything is approved or deleted, those graphics do appear inside of your archive. So as you can see right here, these are all of our graphics, the statuses, the order numbers, where from here you are able to edit the graphic or download the graphic. So if for any reason you need these graphics for any later times, you have access to them for the next 30 days inside of your archive right here. Well, that's going to be it for this tutorial video. We went over everything that you need to know and how to use HelloCustom to automate the personalization for your Etsy orders. If you have any questions right behind this video, where if you click onto this icon right here, we have live chat support with agents ready to help you with any questions that you might have. As we speak, we have three. We have Kendra, we have Terrence, and Tiana live right now, ready to help you with any questions that you might have. And we have help articles. If you click onto the help icon right here, we have help articles with any questions that you might have on how to use HelloCustom. Well, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.